Okay, I've gone ahead and hit the record button. Hopefully everyone's okay with that. That's mostly for us to help with questions. Welcome to the J5 Challenge press conference here at the end of the week. This is the 5th iteration of the challenge. You didn't come here to listen to me, so I'm going to be very brief. My name is Justin Cole. I'm the communication lead for the J5, and I'm also the Director of Communications for IRS Criminal Investigation. We've got a list of 8 very esteemed speakers for you all today. Don't worry, it's not like a high school graduation where you have long speeches to listen to. We want to introduce all 8 of these individuals to give you their perspective. Each of them have a different role to bring to the challenge. This was a new and first in many ways for us. I'm not going to get into any of the speakers and steal their thunder, but this was our 5th iteration of the challenge, took place in Ottawa. You have some speakers who are still in Ottawa, and then you have some speakers who are virtually around the country. If you had received a copy of the press release, that embargo is off of that now. It's certainly welcome to report on that as of now. We do have a couple of new quotes that have been added, so the version that will be posted. Oh my goodness. The version of the press release that comes out may be slightly different than the one you got, not in content, but just in the amount of items that were added to that. In just a second, I'll turn it over to our first speaker. If you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or Genevieve, who I believe is the one who sent the media advisories out, and we will get right to it. And after the last speaker, I will start to facilitate the Q&A, and I would just ask that everybody, again, identify who they are and who their question is addressed to, and then you might even get multiple folks to answer your questions. So we'll go ahead and start, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Eric Ferron, Director General, the Criminal Investigations Directorate from CRA. So Eric, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Justin, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. The Canada Revenue Agency is very pleased to share that this past week, Canada hosted the 5th annual J5 Challenge. Since the inception of the J5, events known as challenges have been held that are aimed at tracking down those who are making a living out of facilitating and enabling international tax crime. It brings together investigators, crypto experts, data scientists from all 5 countries to work together in a collaborative fashion with our private sector partners. This year's challenge focused on data mining and financial reporting relating to crypto assets and technology-enabled financial threats. This year's challenge is also unique because it marks the first time that the financial intelligence units have been involved in a J5 challenge. It's also the first time that our partners from the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the RCMP, have participated in a challenge. Having them all here with the J5 groups and our private sector partners is a great opportunity to bring together more tools and resources to combat international tax evasion. Although the week is not yet over and there is still much to be done, I'm very proud of the work that has been accomplished to date. Justin, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Our next speaker is Mr. Jim Lee, who is the Chief of IRS Criminal Investigation. Jim?
Yeah, thanks, Justin, and thanks, everybody, for taking the time to join us here today for this. I know we've done it a couple of times, and, as Eric mentioned, this is the 5th time, actually, that we've had this challenge, or some people refer to it as a sprint. I like the challenge. This year's challenge focused on digital assets within the financial institution reporting documents and public data sets revolving around digital assets. And this is a great concept. And I know many of you heard me say this. I usually don't miss a chance to talk about the value of this challenge because it cannot be overstated or said enough. And a lot of you know, some of you might not know, that during this challenge, public, private, partner experts from each country come together. Think about investigators, data scientists, analysts, men and women from around the globe in each of our jurisdictions with very unique skill sets. They gather, with a mission of leveraging real data from a variety of open and investigative sources available in each country with a specific focus on producing results. And what I mean by results is operational leads that impact each of our jurisdictions. And just like every other iteration of the challenge we have done, that's what they did this week. They're here because they're the best and the brightest in this discipline from each of our countries. And what they do is incredibly important. And in fact, I should probably just pause real quick and just thank our public partners from each of the FIU jurisdictions that are here, and our private partners, Chainalysis, Blocktrace, and AnChain, for being part of the challenge this year. And really, you see a lot of our team members on the screen here. Thanks to all you men and women, for what you do day in and day out, keeping our respective jurisdictions safe. So these challenges have been incredibly fruitful over the past few years. And this challenge model that I just referenced is used. It's one that I've personally replicated in my division in other areas, just because the power can't be overstated. So, there are operational leads that we have that we're actively working, that we would not have without this J5 partnership and challenge concept. So some of you might recall during our fourth chapter from last year that focused on NFTs and decentralized exchanges, was able to announce a number of operational leads developed, including a $1 billion Ponzi scheme because of this collaboration. And that case is still currently ongoing. And this challenge here has produced additional investigative results. And I think all of us are here excited, that again, this group produced well north of 50 investigative leads. And I'm general with that number of investigative leads because, as we've talked about before, not all leads turn into full-blown investigations. But just know that a number of quality leads, well over 50, have again been produced. And these are what I consider, after a briefing, high-dollar, high-impact leads that have cross-jurisdiction representation. And we're here to develop tax cases. But this group also identifies other investigations as well, and they have, involving darknet marketplaces, child exploitation cases, pig butchering schemes. Again, this work that this group gets together, it cannot be overstated. And these are all significant focus areas for law enforcement in general, because they have real impact on not just tax administrations, but real victims of horrendous crimes. So remember that our J5 collaboration is not a think tank. We don't sit around and discuss conceptual items. We are very operational. We have high expectations of ourselves. We demand a lot from our teams, and we expect results when we get together like this. So because the other part I would say, if a lead arises outside of a J5 jurisdiction, we contact our appropriate law enforcement partners. So J5 is busy. And this week we're here to talk about this challenge, but I am going to take just another 30 seconds to talk about and use this as an opportunity to mention a press release that was released yesterday out of the Eastern District of New York. And while this was an FBI-led investigation, it does have J5 implications, further supporting the comment that I just made that the J5 does not operate in a vacuum. So that press release revolved around founders and executives of a digital asset company. They were charged in a multi-million-dollar international fraud scheme with various charges. Defendants allegedly misappropriated millions of dollars of investor funds. So it revolved around the digital asset in question was SafeMoon. So I'd encourage you to go and look that press release up on that particular indictment. So, Justin, I think what I'll do, unless you want me to go back to you, I think next on the list I'll turn it over to Special Agent Oleg Pobereyko from IRSCI to give his comments.
Perfect. Thank you. Oleg.
Good morning, everyone. I must admit it's not easy task to speak after the Chief Eric and Chief Jim because of their exceptional speakers. And they mentioned a lot of great information. The only I would like to highlight really quick, the difference between other J5 challenges and this challenge is that we brought the FIUs from every single J5 country, and we're sitting together at the same table and collaborate. And this is really important just because of we all work in all government works like in the bubble. Like if you can imagine the bubbles, each bubble have 5 different bubbles. Now we have similar bubbles within FIUs by put everyone in the same room and share have a similar sharing mechanism. And of course, all the financial reporting requirements that we share that goes through the Egmont request, the sharing mechanism does not change, but just it significantly expedite the process. And the way that Jim mentioned, I just want to highlight that our main focus is on finding the appropriate leads that touches all of our J5 jurisdictions. Of course, the main priorities are tax crimes, tax evasion, right? But we're also looking into the individuals who made significant amount of money and the crypto assets, the fiat currency derived from some sort of illegal activities, for instance, from the darknet markets, drug trafficking, human trafficking, child exploitation, looking at different schemes like pig butchering, NFT, rug pulls at the same time. And of course, all of these leads, even if it touches had the money laundering nexus, at the end of the day, there will be potential would be the taxable events that will take place in our jurisdictions. And I have a few probably like 30 seconds left, and I just want to compare this challenge to like a boxing match. Like in a professional boxing match, we have about 10 to 12 rounds, right? So the challenge is still going on. We're in day 4. We have 1.5 days left. So we're probably like in round 8 right now, and everyone downstairs working together, collaborating information, and we're ready to take our leads to the next level. So for the future operations, what we plan to do, we're planning to go back home, work with each other, and take all of these leads that we have and make them operational as fast as possible, and make sure for the next year we will talk to you, we'll have a significant operational results to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Oleg. Appreciate it very much. We're now going to turn to Mr. Ron Willemse. I hope I said that right, Ron. And Ron is a strategic advisor at the FIAD. So Ron, over to you.
Oh, good morning. We have a little bit echo. I'm sorry. It's okay? Okay. Thank you, Oleg. Again, good morning. Good morning, Justin. Thank you. There is a lot of said already, and I don't want to repeat the previous speakers. One of the most important things for us as the field is also that we can share the knowledge and that we can retrieve the knowledge, not only working on the leads and the investigations, but also that we make friends and that we can build up a network. So after this challenge, we can also call them and reach out to them and work with them. That's one thing we are always very excited about. Also, one thing Oleg said, and I want to make an addition on that we don't stop after this week. We have a lot of leads, we have a lot of information, and we take it back home and work on it further. So that was a little, I don't think I'm going to make the whole 3 minutes. I think that was it for me.
No, perfect. Thank you, Ron. I know you'll be available for questions as well. We're now going to turn to our first FIU, and Barry MacKillop, the Deputy Director of FinTrack. Barry, over to you.
Thank you, Justin, and thank you all for being here. In Canada, FinTrack certainly has a very strong relationship with CRA and with the RCMP and with other law enforcement across the country. But this J5 challenge and having FIUs from around the world working with the J5 partners was really unique. It was an opportunity to underscore the importance of financial intelligence, how it can be leveraged across countries and across the world. These new partnerships, I think, are going to lay the groundwork for some exciting ongoing work. As mentioned, this isn't something that happened a few months ago and stops today. It has started, and it will continue to move forward with new partnerships. Hyper-focused, obviously, in the crypto space in particular, but in the financial world, it knows no borders and it goes across the world. And it's important that we all work together to address this to save and get the victims out of these types of crimes and to stop this type of money laundering and crimes from occurring across the world. I think what this J5 challenge did as well by bringing in the FIUs is it really does highlight that these challenges and the results obtained really underscore, highlight, and reinforce the importance of the day-to-day role of thousands of AML analysts that sit in our financial institutions and other reporting entities, the work that they do, the reports that they submit to FIUs, the results that can be obtained by the reports that they submit, and the importance of their day-to-day work, because they really are, both in Canada and around the world, the front lines in money laundering in all our regimes. And I think that these types of challenges really do provide an opportunity to reward them indirectly for the work that they do on a daily basis. So thank you again for inviting the FIUs. We look forward to this collaboration in the future, and congratulations to all of you on what I think is a very successful challenge this year. So back to you, Justin.
Thank you, Barry. Appreciate those remarks. We're now going to turn to our three private sector folks, and our first speaker is Mr. Jim Daniels, Director of Investigations at Blocktrace. Jim? Jim, by the way, can do amazing things with the computer, but is having trouble getting off of mute right now. We're going to give him.
That works now. Is that good, Justin?
There you go. We got you, Jim. Yep, go ahead.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, my name is Jim Daniels. I'm the Director of Investigations here at Blocktrace. I'm in a very unique position as a retired IRS special agent that I have participated in the very first J5 Cyber Challenge and have been able to participate in all of them. Now being on the private side, being able to see both sides of how the impact is coming together with private partners is significant. Being able to bring in our other private partners like AnChain and Chainalysis to be able to match that up with what the government is doing and the leads that we're working on is truly significant. And it again shows the partnership agreements that are happening on these kind of challenges in the multi-country scenarios. It has been super impactful, and I've definitely seen it on both sides. So I really look forward to continuing the relationship not only with the J5 but with IRSCI, and continue to look forward to working on these types of investigations in the future.
All right, wonderful. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate those comments. We're in the final stretch here. Our last two speakers, Mr. Ryan Ryder, who's the Manager of Investigations at Chainalysis. Ryan?
Thank you, Justin. As mentioned, yes, I am Ryan Ryder, Manager of Investigations here at Chainalysis. I come from a law enforcement background. I'm based out of Western Canada. Unlike my friend Jim, it is my first J5 challenge, but I'm very honored to be here. Also very honored to represent around 100 investigators at Chainalysis just from across the globe. Specifically at this challenge, we had a team of about a dozen investigators working, around the clock on operational lead generation. Here in Ottawa, we have 5 of them on site to assist. A bit about Chainalysis, we work across public and private sectors, which makes us kind of uniquely positioned to drive efficiencies in this ecosystem. So that's really why we're here. It's my opinion that we have an opportunity to make crypto the safest financial system. Thanks to its just inherent transparency, and it's truly like collaborations like these that bring us closer to that ideal. And again, the really nice thing with J5 is it allows us to collaborate and work from the same data sets as law enforcement agencies and regulators, and together with our public sector friends from AnChain and Blocktrace. Without them, it's just fantastic to have everybody in the room together like that, and we can really work towards shutting down illicit activity, and something that really isn't all that possible in traditional finance. So yeah, that's Chainalysis, and that's myself, and just very happy, and thank you to the CRA and IRS for putting this on together here in Ottawa.
Great, thanks for those comments, Ryan. And our final speaker before we open up to questions is Mr. Philip Werlau, who is the Head of Threat Research at AnChain. Philip?
Excellent. Thank you, Justin. So yes, I'm Philip Werlau. I'm the Head of Threat Research at AnChain. And I think I'm just going to echo what many of the other speakers have said, that this event has really highlighted the power of the public-private partnership. The cryptocurrency ecosystem is so rapidly evolving. Things are changing so often. There's so many different aspects of it. To really fight crime, fight tax, money laundering and tax evasion, you have to bring all your tools, all your capabilities, and all your expertise together. And I think this event has really showed off what we can accomplish when we bring together all of our expertise and tools and capabilities. So really proud to be here, and big thanks to IRSCI for inviting us.
All right, thanks, Philip. Okay, now we're at the fun part of the show where we get to take some questions from the media who have joined us, and thank you for that. So this is a way of playing traffic cop. If you're on the Teams through a computer and you're able to raise your hand on the item here, the electronic hand, that will help me see which order everyone has raised their hands. If you are calling in or you're unable to figure that out, which sometimes a lot of us have trouble finding out, that's fine. If there's a space, then go ahead and just speak up, and I just ask everybody to, again, let us know who you are, where you're from, and who your question is to. So open it up to questions now. All right, Nathan, you are up first. Go ahead.
Goody. Just a couple of details to bear down a little bit on. I just want to clarify, one, was the 50 cases mentioned specific to this challenge? And then just a quick follow-up after that is, what types of cases are you finding? Is there anything non-crypto fraud? Are they all money laundering? Is there a breakdown between tax fraud and other sorts of fraud, as well as between crypto and other sorts of fraud?
And Nathan is from Tax Notes.
Sorry,
anyone not aware of Nathan? No, all good. Oleg, I saw you nodding. I know there might be others who want to jump in there. Who wants to take that question for us?
I will take it if it's okay. Hi, Nathan. Good morning. I just wanted to clarify that we have over like 50, it's not the cases yet, it's the leads, that we developed the lead. And once we go back home, we're going to prepare, right now, we're looking at all the information we have, we're going to put them in like lead development package, and that lead development package will be transmitted later to the operational case. So right now we just have leads. But to answer the second question, we have good mixtures. We have really, since J5, it's our main components, the tax evasion, tax crimes, right? So we're looking into the tax component, but we're also finding a lot of leads that touches the money laundering, because if individuals transfer a significant amount of money from a darknet marketplaces, and we see the attribution to the drug trafficking or to the selling of the drugs, I'm not going to say, but majority of these individuals will not file a tax returns, will not declare the significant amount of how much they made from a darknet, from different schemes, from big butchering, different rug pulls, NFT rug pulls, for instance, on the tax returns. So it has both angles, but we have a good mixture of cases, and from a tax perspective and money laundering. Thank you.
Thank you, Oleg. Jim, I saw you come off mute. Did you have something you wanted to add to that as well?
I was just going to fight Oleg with his answer there. I love the boxing analogy, Oleg, and I think Nathan. I know I've said this to you before. Money laundering is tax evasion in progress. So whether it's pure tax or it's money laundering that has a tax implication, in our respective jurisdictions, if there's a filing requirement, we're interested in all of it. And I think about what Oleg said about the boxing analogy, which Oleg, I'm gonna have to sit down with you and talk. That's a great analogy, because I think when you think about these crimes, I mean, when you think about the boxing analogy, we really in law enforcement, I mean, we're not fighting for a split decision here. We're fighting for the knockout punch. And a lot of these bad crimes that are out there, Oleg mentioned a couple, like the darknet marketplaces, the child exploitation, the pig butchering schemes, where there are real victims. Whether it's tax or money laundering or both, I mean, we're not going to rest until we make this space incredibly small that these bad actors are trying to operate in. So, like I said, Oleg, I'll probably use that boxing analogy here for the rest of my time as chief. I love it. Appreciate that.
Fantastic. Was there anyone else who wanted to come in on that question? I don't see any other coming off of mute. Okay, wonderful. All right, thanks, Nathan, for kicking us off. Anyone else have questions for the group here? All right, Mike, you're up next. Go for it.
Oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I was wondering with the data mining technology, it sounds like you're using the data mining technology to be able to ferret out relationships between these schemes and how they're using crypto. Are these criminals also using data mining tools as well to like find victims from the information that they've gleaned?
Who would like to take that question for us?
Right. Yeah. You're gonna have to put on mute though. So what we're seeing is in certain data gathering from the criminal side, airdrop scams in which people produce tokens and kind of shock them out to many addresses as a way of phishing or kind of trying to draw in people. The targeting of those are based off of blockchain information. So they'll find people that are using platforms that are more likely to fall for these types of scams to already be involved in, sketchier tokens and stuff. So we've seen for a while criminal data gathering on targeting when they're kind of going largely out to many victims. So.
All right, thanks, Philip. Anyone else want to come in on that one? Oleg, I think I see you talking, but I think you're on mute still.
Apologies. Just to let you know, majority of us sit in the same room, so that's why we have to unmute every single time. For data mining project, I just want to say, to answer your question, yes. What we're looking at, data mining project, each country have multiple cases in the past, right? We seized a significant amount of different data sets from search warrants, from every time we did any of the enforcement operations, but also we have to take into consideration there's a lot of leaked data sets, right? And all of the since once it's leaked, everyone will have access to the leaked data sets, including the bad actors, and they do explore these leaked data sets to find the victims and to target the victims. And then pull it past it to Ron, because Ron can give you one of good examples that he created.
Okay, wonderful.
So, yeah. So, first of all, I want to make a little addition on the first question that was from Nathan. As already said, the use and abuse of cryptocurrencies is not only in the darknet transactions anymore. It's been in all different criminal activities, and using, in that case, the FIU source as a source give us the opportunity to see all those criminal activities. It's a very big variety, and that we can have focus. We don't have to focus only on one criminal activity or one thing like money laundering or darknet, but it's everywhere. It's a very good source for us. The second thing, what Oleg was talking about, well, we as the field, the Financial Investigation and Information Service from the Netherlands, are involved in different seized data sets like Sky ECC or EncroChat, for example. There we have a lot of data, a lot of messages, and one thing we do is we extract the cryptocurrency addresses out from the seized data. So, for example, these are the QR codes that are sent, or people are sending their address in text, and even they send their mnemonic phrases, but that's a different story. So what we do with this, we combine it with the data from the FIU. And why? So these data sets, they are old sometimes, and the data is old, but cryptocurrencies we can bring to the present to follow the transactions and combine with the recently received FIU SARS, and then we can make it more to the present. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate those comments. Anyone else with questions? All right, Nathan, back up.
Just to clarify, the press, at least the initial press release, listed 2 or 3 of the FIUs. Can you tell us what the full 5 are?
Looks like Oleg's trying to come off mute here.
Hi, Nathan. Yes, so we have present 5 FIUs. We have FIU Austrac from Australia. We have FinTrack from Canada. We have FIU from United Kingdom, and FIU from Ministry of Finance from the Netherlands. And of course, I'm sorry, and our FIUs FinCEN from the United States. On the press release, just for some of them released the quote, some they didn't, but we have FIUs from 5 different from all of our 5 different countries.
Did you get that, Nathan?
I did, thank you.
Okay.
If I can ask just one last one. This one will be a little bit specific to Chief Lee. I was very taken by the comment that you have used the challenge model internally, apart from the J5. Are there any specific types of investigations or public-facing results, any sort of thing like that you can clarify how CI has used the challenge model internally?
No, thanks, Nathan. And I mean, you some may think that we choreographed this, but we haven't. Can't comment on any specific investigations, but one thing that you and others are very familiar with that I've used the challenge for internally here was our BSA challenge, where we've taken Bank Secrecy Act data and filings, all of them, and tried to quantify how important BSA filings are to law enforcement in the states here. And that's exactly what we did. And you might recall the BSA challenge and the infographic that we've put out. That was tailor-made for this challenge, where I took public-private partners, including our FIU, FinCEN, and again, real data that we have, and tried to quantify for financial institutions just how significant bank secrecy data is. So that's an example. And it's a coincidence because here we're partnering with the FIUs in this challenge as well.
Thank you.
Okay,
Nathan,
looks like next up is, oh, sorry, Oleg, did you have something else?
I just want to add that to Nathan. After this challenge, what we're working right now, actually, all countries got together and we finalized in the paper. It's going to be a red flag indicators to financial institutions. That what we learned from the challenge. And this document is going to be probably finalized by the end of this week. We're planning to release to all of FIUs so they can publish by next week. Thank you. And we'll highlight everything the challenge, any red flags, any what we think looks suspicious, what we learned that we can share it with the financial institutions.
Fantastic. Thank you, Oleg. Lauren, you're next up with a question.
Hi, everyone. This is Lauren Vella. I'm an international tax reporter at Bloomberg Tax. I just wanted to confirm, and I apologize if I missed it, piggybacking off of what Nathan had asked, to confirm that these 50 leads are from this year's challenge. Is that correct? Okay,
I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that one, Lauren. Yeah, thanks for the question. And yes, it's I think I'm the one that first mentioned 50, and what I would say, it's well north of 50 leads from this year's challenge. It's just we
Okay.
try to be really general with the number, just because not every lead turns into a full-blown investigation. But and as Oleg said, we're in the 8th round, right? We've got a couple more rounds to go before we figure out how many of these leads will actually turn into full-blown investigations.
Great. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Do we have any other questions for this group here? Okay, what I would say, if there are any of the speakers that have any final remarks of topics that weren't touched on, go ahead and let me know at this time while I'm closing up. For the future for the J5, be on the lookout for a 5-year report coming before year's end. There's also a global financial institution partnership meeting coming up at the end of the month, and we look to have a couple of other operational items to announce here in the very, very near future as well. So really busy time for the J5. Do any of our speakers have any closing remarks before we let everyone go for the day?
Justin, I'll just come in real quick and just take this one more opportunity while we have our J5 men and women here that participated here. I could not be more proud of what you guys and gals do across the globe, to keep our respective citizens safe. It's honorable, and I just thank you for the hard work and dedication.
Great, thank you, Chief Lee. Anyone else?
Justin,
okay.
It's Eric here
please, Eric,
from Canada. So having hosted this challenge, I must say we have learned a lot from the previous 4. We're inviting people and groups like the RCMP and the FIUs and all private partners. And every time we do this, we get better at it. But it's a big thank you to all our partners. Obviously, the J5, we're used to playing and working together, I should say, between us 5 countries. But to add all these other people to this partnership is really making this a great challenge and will allow us to get even better results. So it's a big thank you to all the people who are participating and helping the J5 with this.
Thank you, Eric. I think perfect way to wrap it up. If any of our media have any follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to me, justin.cole@ci.irs.gov, or you can reach out to Genevieve, who sent the meeting advisory, and we'll get the questions routed to the right people. Thanks to all of our speakers. Press release will be out any minute, and you all are welcome to report on it now. And thanks, everyone. Stay safe. We will see you soon.